And here we are moving on to number 4 in Lincoln Financial Field for Monday Night Football against the Washington Commanders. And I seem to think to remember, do I remember someone saying something interesting last week? I believe I said something along the lines of, I'm calling it now. The Commanders are going to upset the Eagles on Monday Night Football. Paraphrasing. I believe I said something along those lines. And then I believe something along those lines happened. Stats, what do you say? Taylor? Mr. Heineke? Third week in a row. People may give stats talking about quarterbacks throwing multiple touchdown passes in a row in each game. People may talk about win streaks or divisional wins, home win streaks, any sort of streak. Catches in a game in a row. I forget what it was. Jerry Rice, 200 games or something ridiculous like that. Games in a row. How about Taylor Heineke and the Washington Commanders being on the weekly top 5 3 weeks in a row? I think that is a streak we are going to have to keep watching, and I'm going to get very excited about, regardless if I'm the one that picks it. But I'll tell you this. Hey, they belong here this week. They belonged here last week, and they belonged here 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever. They've belonged, and here they are, 32-21. This is probably the biggest... Actually, it's probably the biggest win separation, but they scored a touchdown on a strip sack in the end zone, or, on the last play of the game when they were already about to win. Or that wasn't a strip sack, on a fumble when they were doing the throwback plays. And finally, after 8 wins, was it Larry Zonka? Is it always him that makes a video in jubilation when the last team loses and says, the 72 Dolphins are still the only undefeated team in NFL history? I think it's Larry Zonka that does that. He loves it. It's the only thing I know him for because I wasn't alive in 1972 and I didn't watch any of the Dolphins games. But good job, Larry. I hope he made a video. I hope he posts on social media and everyone got to be excited. Because he only roots for teams, and now he just stops watching the season. He's actually really not that interested in football. He's just more interested in his undefeated record, holding strong. The Eagles finally lost and finally got hit by the turnover bug. They had something outrageous, like 2 turnovers this season, had some insane... plus minus. Also led the league in turnover and takeaways, and then had 8 less than the next team in turnovers. Didn't even make sense. They cough it up 4 times, lose to the Commanders, and they cough it up in the worst times. Obviously, the last one didn't really matter, the last fumble, but on one of those last drives, you had Hurts throw a perfect pass, and it was caught. And then it was fumbled, and then it was recovered by the Commanders, who eventually ran out the clock in a wild game where their kicker made multiple 50-yard field goals. And, hey, Heineke did enough. You know what I love about Heineke's stats? 17-29, 211, one interception. They're kind of relying on him a little bit, but then not really relying on him at the same time, 211 yards is not good. He had no touchdown passes. He had an interception. He was 17 for 29. None of this is really good. And Robinson was good at running, but I feel like Heineke just makes it happen when the play needs to happen. That's it. He's just, he always rises the case. I mean, Fitzpatrick embodied. He must have learned so much from him last year. They were on the same team last year, and they must have just shared the competitive journeyman spirit. And Heineke's not even a journeyman, but he entered the league so old that I feel like he was already on the journey. He was the journeyman before his career even started. Amazing. Thank you, Taylor, for taking the win away from the Eagles. Eagles and everyone's power rankings have now dropped below the Chiefs. Some people might even put them below. No, I think most people just left them at number 2. It's okay, Eagles. You're going to pound through the rest of the schedule anyways. 16-1 is still a possibility, which is ridiculous. Because the NFC... No, the schedule is so easy for the Eagles in that area. They're good for you. I'm glad that, you all get to do that. Good job, Philadelphia. But Jalen Hurts finally looks human. I mean, he had always made the plays to be made, but I mean, with that deep ball that was caught and fumbled, it's incredible to see that play was like 40 yards. You're telling me he had like 135 yards coming into the fourth, like with minutes left in the fourth quarter? That's a very bad game. I don't know what exactly was different from the Eagles. It was just a lot of some incomplete passes, just a lot of turnovers. That's it. Turnovers are big. You just keep giving the ball away. The Commanders just keep to, especially in crucial moments. And they ran the ball. 26 rushes by Robinson, 44 rushes by Gibson, 4 from Samuel, and I know Heineke had some rushes. I mean, they just kept pounding the ball and running out the clock. They essentially played the lamest form of football, got it done, made the far field goals, made a lot of field goals, actually. And, I mean, the 32 points is a total farce. 6 of those are a scoop and score at the end. It was really more of a 26 points. And they did it. Good job, Heineke, my hero. And, of course, I can always just think about how amazing that I am for calling it. For calling this game. Something felt right about it. Something just felt good. I know it was in Philadelphia. I don't know. Or you can just imagine that maybe I'm part of that group of people that, like, everyone conspiracy theories against, like the Illuminati or something. Maybe I am. I'm part of the Illuminati, and I'm the one who said, I think it's time the Eagles lose, and we discussed it, and then we, wrote it down because everything's planned, right? And that's just what it is. So blame me for all of the referee issues in the NFL. I control the NFL and who wins. I'm essentially the Vince McMahon of the NFL, and I decide the storylines. So, so blame me when refs miss the plays. Although, you know what? We really tried to get the Bills to win this week, but I don't know. Josh Allen had other plans. Let's move on.